going on, guys? It's Christian again. If you're new here, I'm a weightlifter, gamer, but most importantly, I'm a Catholic. And I wanted to come on here just to give you guys a little bit of encouragement for Lent this year. And I want to encourage you to give up something that you really believe is going to be hard to give up. Something that we either use or enjoy on a daily basis, or at least frequently, and just offer it up to the Lord. That thing that we really enjoy. And if you want a good example of this, for me, it's caffeine. It's something that I've used, well, for years, and has been something I use every single day, and in most cases probably depend on that to even function on the day-to-day. And I gave that up knowing that it was going to be a very big struggle, and I fought myself on this, but I knew that this is what God wanted me to do. Like, I was being called to give this up. And so I made the jump, and I completely went off cold turkey. I was drinking coffee multiple times a day, probably 300 to 600 milligrams per day. And obviously getting off of that was hard. It was rough. And yeah, but that's kind of the point. The thing that we give up should be something difficult. Something that, what am I trying to say here? I guess what I'm trying to say is it shouldn't be easy. It should be difficult, and it should test us. Because Lent is a time of transformation. It's a time to let God work in our lives in ways that He hasn't before, mainly because we just haven't let Him in. Lent should transform you. You should allow God to transform you. And man, it's amazing what God can do in your life if you just let Him in, right? And so I really encourage you guys to give up something that is extremely difficult and run with it. Try your best. Do your best and let Christ take care of the rest. That's what I love telling myself. I started telling myself this like 2 months ago. It kind of just came into my head, and I've been using it ever since, and it's honestly been quite fruitful. So I recommend you use it as well. Do your best, let Christ take care of the rest. And yeah, pick something, anything. Could be coffee, and it doesn't have to be necessarily giving something up either. It could be just doing more of something, doing more of a service to your community, maybe just working out more, doing something to be healthier. Any kind of subtle, small act of penance, or what's the word? Penance, and it's not coming to me right now. Anyway, I'll think of it after I get off this video. But anyway, yeah, just an act of penance for your own sins and the sins of the world, mainly because we need to. This world is dark and dreary, but this world is also beautiful if you look to the things that God has made and that is in Christ, created by Christ, everything. Human beings can make incredible things. We can, and we have. But at the same time, we tend to take the light out of everything as well. And so it's very nice to give up all the things, the worldly things that we have been so attached to this entire time. And so I encourage you guys to also give up something extremely difficult. And just to give up these worldly desires. Not to necessarily get rid of them completely, but just focus less on the world and more on God. Focus less on temporal things that pass away and more on eternal things. And that's another thing Lent's about, is to focus on eternal things, the things that matter, the spiritual things. Because what you see here in the world, the beauty, what we can do, what we can create, what we can build, the success that we can have, the families, the accomplishments, all these things are amazing, but they pass away into nothingness eventually. All of them will. Did you hear that voice crack? I'm sorry, I'm going through puberty. 20 years too late. But, yeah. So, take some time to figure out what that is. Pray about it. What do you want to give up? And let me know in the comments what you guys chose. You can choose to give up caffeine with me as well. This is day 2 of Lent. Let's finish strong, boys. Let's do this. And until next time, I'll see you. Peace and God bless.
Bye.